Hot breath.
Let me tell you something. I did 2 that didn't get bought.
Oh,
But I've sold
okay.
rows. My first 2 did not get bought by anybody. I got one called Breaking Out the Park and one called Urban Legend that I was selling as DVDs on the road, and nobody bought them. And I think Breaking Out the Park is one of my best specials out there. Just I didn't have a big enough name. I didn't have the right representation, but networks and they didn't really know who I was at the time, even though I hosted Comic View, they didn't really know. But now it's crazy. I've ended up selling both of them 10 years and 15 years after I recorded them. I ended up selling them to like different studios that gets it out on iTunes and everywhere else. So I ended, it took me years, but I sold it. But the first 2, mine didn't sell, but it didn't discourage me. I was like, all right. One, I got sick of doing the material and I wanted to do new material. So I was like, let me put a special together. And we shot it, hired the camera guys, paid everybody. I owned all the rights to it. And then that's all I did because I wasn't getting, nobody was like calling me to shoot we want to do your special and pay you for it. So I was like, well, I'll just shoot it myself and hopefully I'll sell it. And luckily, the true story I didn't do by myself. Code Black did it, but that sold to Showtime. So that helped my relationship with Showtime. It did good on there. So the next one I just did myself and everybody passed but Showtime. Because Showtime's like, oh, okay, we remember your last one. Even though I didn't do that one, that's how I've sold my last 3 to Showtime. They were like, I did it myself, but they were like, oh, okay, he does good numbers and, just it works out.
Yeah, there's several people in the chat saying they're going to buy it right now. They're going to buy both right now, they said. So.
Breaking Out the Park is probably, I think we shot that in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
I look like a little kid in that. Because this is what I remember when we shot it, because literally we shot it draft weekend and San Diego was supposed to pick Michael Vick. It's weird how you remember things. And they traded the pick and Atlanta picked Michael Vick and San Diego got LaDainian Tomlinson. And for some reason, I was in San Diego that weekend shooting that special. And I just remember that was the big news in the area. Like, damn, we're supposed to get Michael Vick. That's what I remember about shooting my special. That's how long ago it was.
Well, this is definitely a moment in this show in my career I won't forget. So I appreciate you taking the time to do this, Gary. I realize we ran a few minutes over, but thanks for seriously doing this. We always end this with like just closing advice for comics, something you've picked up through your career, advice you'll never forget, something you can kind of end us with here.
You're never as funny as your best set, and you're never as bad as your worst set. I'll leave it at that.
Boom.
Don't get too depressed, but also don't get too cocky.
Awesome. And how much did that special cost, Breaking Out of the Park, self-produced? Do you remember?
Here's the thing. I had my TV deal with Quincy Jones, and I took that money and shot my special. And I think that special ended up running me about $55,000.
Okay.
And I remember I made like $23,000 back at the door that night because I had bought the theater too. So I was like, I was like $30-some thousand in the hole after it was all said and done. And then I went shopping it and nobody bought it. And that was a little disappointing. But then I boxed it, started selling on the road for $20. So it might have taken me 2 years, but I made the money back.
That's what's up. Awesome.
So I've been, and then I end up getting, I end up buying it. Somebody ended up buying it for more money than what I paid to make it. Granted, 16 years later, but it ended up working out because I had it and I owned it.
Hot breath.